Proposing motion 7 in the name of Dublin Central Constituency Council. Joe.
Thank you, Chairman. Delegates, the great 18th century philosopher Thomas Paine, who played such a major role in the French and American revolutions, once said, "Never let a serious crisis go to waste." And boy, do we have a serious crisis. Now, the motion today from Dublin Central is to address that statement. There are three things in this motion. First of all, that we would keep the newly nationalised Anglo-Irish Bank retained in public ownership, that we would develop it as a state investment bank along the lines of the old ACC and ICC, which played such a major role in developing the agricultural and corporate economy in the past. And thirdly, that we would make it the vehicle for dealing with the European Union financial institutions and drawing down funding from them. The banks have brought us to this sorry economic state. They have been irresponsible. They have splurged like drunken sailors. Now, despite the fact that the government have given them an investment guarantee of 500 billion and injected recapitalisation of 7 billion, they won't spend a penny. And the people who are hardest hit at the present time is the small and medium sector. And remember, approximately 1 million Irish people work in that sector. 64% of the entire private sector and almost 50% of the entire workforce. It's colossal. It's hemorrhaging jobs, and it's hemorrhaging jobs because the banks won't lend, or if they do, they impose punitive rates and impossible conditions. The European Union saw this problem 6 months ago. On the 3rd of October, it made available 30 billion for the 27 member states to draw down funding for the small and medium enterprise. Do you know how much the Irish banks have drawn down in that 6 months? Not one single penny. Now under pressure from ISME, not from the Minister for Finance or from the government, who gave the guarantees to the banks and recapitalised them, under pressure from ISME, they are now drawing down over the next 6 months a miserable 300 million. It's meagre and totally inadequate. So what we are saying here is that the private banking system cannot be allowed to hold the country to ransom. Cannot be allowed to do that. We must protect the core pillars of the economy. We must protect the small and medium enterprises. And we must establish the State Investment Bank, as I said, along the lines of the ACC and the ICC. We must ensure that it liaises and draws down the funding from the European Union banks, and that we must ensure that there is a steady flow of credit into the economy. I commend this motion.
Thank you, Joe. Next we have Jim O'Brien, candidate for